by the Seminoles Saturday night ended with a Florida State victory over 8th-ranked Alabama. It turned into a dance party inside of Doak afterwards for what was a memory made by Mike Norvell's Noles that we will always remember and certainly never forget. Welcome in to Inside Seminole Football, live from Bowdens in College Town. Look at this crowd, everybody. We ready to roll to Monday night? Great turnout here this evening. We appreciate y'all making time here on Labor Day Monday evening. What a great show we have. We're going to hear from the starting quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles, Tommy Castellanos, a little bit later on. Tight ends coach and deputy head coach Chris Thompson. And please, a big round of applause for your head football coach, Mike Norvell, everyone. Coach, congratulations on a tremendous victory on Saturday. I wanted to start the show off. Obviously, the last 24 hours have been emotional surrounding Ethan Pritchard. How's the team doing, rallying around Ethan, his family, after last night?
Yeah, it's all of our thoughts and prayers are with Ethan and his family. He's still in critical condition, but he is stable. Got a chance to be there. And be with him there last night, his dad, and just all the family members. But we met as a team today and got a chance to just share an update, and we're all fully supportive for him and believing and praying for a full recovery here as we move forward. But you appreciate just all the support of the Florida State family, and we're all there with Ethan.
Yeah, absolutely. And continued prayers to Ethan, his family, and the Florida State football family during his progress and recovery as well. Coach, again, congratulations on a spectacular victory. You guys have poured your hearts and souls into this football team over the last 7-8 months for this 2025 version of Florida State football. How do you put it into words, everything that was accomplished in this one game from Saturday?
No, it was special. It was a special atmosphere. We were going in the 6th year. I don't know if I've ever been in my coaching career inside a stadium that had such a energy and an incredible impact there within the game. So to all our Florida State fans, the Knoll family, it was really special, and just to appreciate everybody being there. The work, the investment from our players. We talked last week on the show about that edge, and to be a team that was going to be desperate to go win and to be their best that they could be. And what you saw Saturday was a glimpse to the identity of what I've been seeing for the last 8+ months. And I'm so proud of the way that they competed, and we were dominant against a top 10 team, and really put our stamp on that game, and did what we needed to do. And proud of our players, our coaches, everybody involved in the program for taking that first step.
Yeah, Florida State ended Alabama's 23-game winning streak in season openers on Saturday night. Mike Norvell is the only head coach with multiple regular season non-conference wins versus top 10 SEC opponents since 2016. And Florida State handed Alabama their largest margin of defeat in the season opener since 1970 as well, ladies and gentlemen, with that 14-point victory. You talk about the edge. You mentioned it today during your press conference, Coach. There were a lot of moments where it was one-on-one. Either our guy's going to make the play or their guy's going to make the play. And time after time, your guys showed that want to in so many situations that came down literally to inches on the football field.
Yeah, and I thought it was a dominant performance, and you felt it in their speed, you felt it in their physicality. We won the game in the trenches, and like you said, when the game got to the perimeter, our guys were extremely active. There were some plays. You look defensively, a couple of those 4th down stops, there on the edge, where you just saw effort. You felt that pursuit. You felt the passion to do everything that we could to fight for just the smallest of space, and that showed up big in the course of the game. The mentality of our guys, the way that they were attacking up front, on both sides of the ball, and to be able to run the ball like we did, the explosive plays that showed up offensively, and then just the pursuit and passion of our defense and how they were attacking the ball and the ball carriers. It really was something I was proud to see.
Yeah, before kneel downs on Saturday, Florida State ran for 236 yards on the ground against the Alabama defense. And we mentioned we're going to hear from Tommy Castellanos later in the show, Coach. We talked about his ability to embrace the role as the quarterback here at Florida State University. And, man, he did that and then some. What is it about just his leadership approach in rallying guys and kind of bringing – he's just got that identity that guys are attracted to. It feels like they want to battle with him every play.
I mean, he's got an incredible heart, and you can sit there and you watch him play, and it's so easy to talk about his athletic ability. It's so easy to see about his playmaking ability, but he's led from the heart, and he really truly cares about his teammates. I know I mentioned last week, that has been the quality that I have loved. I mean, he has been all in. He's fully invested. He is making the sacrifices. He's willing to go out there and take the step, right, to be up front, to lead with his own example. And if there's a mistake that's made, I mean, you see him own it. He owns it, he corrects it, and he goes and gets better. And those are the qualities that you want to be around. Because when you step on the field, nobody on the field is going to be perfect throughout the entire course of the game. But when you have somebody that's willing to go out there and put themselves in front, that's willing to lead with vulnerability, but also to have incredible confidence because of the work they put in, that's what drives a football team to follow. And you saw it. I mean, he stepped on the field, and we had 10 guys out there that were playing for him. They were playing with him, and he just did a remarkable job in his play, and obviously with his leadership, and I think our entire football team fuels itself with that mentality, and you see it continuing to spread around the rest of our team.
Time now for our truest hero of the game. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. It's a tough one. We give it to a lot of people. We're going to give it, Coach, to your offensive line on Saturday. As we mentioned, 236 yards rushing the football. You only had to throw it 14 times, which shows how that group imposed their will on a very talented Alabama front, and they were the ones bringing the fight across the line of scrimmage on Saturday.
No, and we knew that was going to be a big key to the game. And the offensive and defensive lines, I thought both those units really played at a high level. When you have 5 new starters, and you look at Richie Leonard coming back from last year, being missing most of the season with an injury, 4 new starters that have come in, and just the way that they were able to gel together. Big shout out to Coach Herban, Coach Malzahn, the way that they were able to prepare those guys, the way that they were able to go out there and execute. We heard enough about, the defense that we were going against, but, our guys, they made the choice and they wanted to be the aggressor, and, we definitely took the step and put it on film for what some of the capabilities that we are. And I'm going to be, and I told the team this, there yesterday, and I believe it. I mean, we won by 14 points, but I'm kind of pissed off it wasn't by more because there were still so many elements of areas of improvement that we get to make. And when you see a team that we celebrate the win, that's a big win, great first step. Those are the things that we needed to do. But you see the areas where we can get better. Now it's the pursuit to go see that improvement, and that started there last night at practice.
That offensive line for Florida State, 4 different players with a rushing touchdown as well in the win over Alabama. As we're live from Bowdoin's in College Town, Bowdoin's a proud partner of Florida State Athletics and host location of Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell. We're here every Monday night during the football season, live in College Town from 7 to 8 p.m. Coming up next on Inside Seminole Football, how about that defense, huh? Man, Tony White's defense flying around, hitting people, making big plays. We'll talk with Coach Norvell about that and more when we are back after this timeout. Great crowd on hand here on Monday night. A packed house at Bowdoin's in College Town. Thanks to all the Noles making their way out here once again on a Labor Day Monday night to be a part of the program and celebrate a season opening victory for Florida State over Alabama. Coach, on the defensive side of the football, we were all very excited to see Tony White's defense on full display, and they certainly were in so many ways, coming up with big plays after big plays, holding that Bama offense to just 17 points overall in the contest. As you flipped on the film, what stood out to you about the way they went out and flew around and executed?
Yeah, I mean, Nole speed and dominant contact. I mean, when those guys, when they took the field, it was, they played relentless, and you saw the confidence, you felt the physicality, and it was all phases. Whether it was the defensive line, linebackers thought they played really well. You felt their presence out there on the field. And being able to get into even the showcasing a little bit of the depth, because that was one of the questions. Some newcomers that have joined the program, some freshmen, some true freshmen that got a chance to play, and then even the secondary. Guys that they were throwing their bodies around. I thought Earl Little was an absolute monster in that game. You felt Ashlyn Barker, his presence, and then as we mentioned, fighting for those inches, being able to see Jabril Rawls, there on that last fourth down stop, everything that he had to force the quarterback to come up, about half a yard short, and I mean that's what stood out to me, and to be able to hold that offense, to I think it was 87 yards, rushing something around that. I mean, it was a truly great performance. Then there were still some plays that we left out there where we get to continue to improve. But I thought, Coach White, his defensive staff, I thought those guys did a great job in their preparation, and the guys came out and they played with tremendous effort.
You said it. Florida State's defense held Alabama to 87 yards rushing in that contest. That's Bama's fewest in a season opener since 1975. Noles fans, historically great defensive effort in that game. And you mentioned the depth. Coach, you played 10 defensive linemen in this contest, and you saw guys rolling through, and it felt like all of them had a play in that game, no matter if it was the Desir twins stepping up, newcomers, Deontay McCray, DeMonte Diggs got in there and flew around, and I know you loved it. You said it during your press conference. Jaden Jones, that young man's been through a ton the last 3 years. To see him go and get it done and make a big hit and contribute, you had to feel great for him.
No, it was great seeing, like I said, great seeing the depth that was able to be put on display, and for all those guys to have that experience. Some of them, their first real experience. You'll hear either at Florida State or in their college careers, and so even coming off the mistakes that were made are all correctable, all things where we can grow through that. But like I said, the mentality, the edge of which they played with, was definitely a wonderful spark for our defense, and we get to build upon it.
Yep. We talked about complimentary football in your post-game interview with us on Saturday after the game on the radio broadcast, and you're able to get to Ty Simpson, but it wasn't right away. I felt like your secondary started it well by covering for 3, 4, 5 seconds. Then your guys were able to get through and force Simpson because he had nowhere to go to throw the football. How did you feel like front to back you guys stayed connected?
No, I mean, I thought it was I thought they played well together. And, there were times where we were able to have some early pressure and, force them to get off the spot. And then there was times that, whether it was a little bit more in coverage. I mean, that was one of the better receiving corps that we're going to play this year. And, to see our guys play with confidence, our guys to be able to understand, their task, their job. We really limited the explosive play, throughout the course of that game, made their offense uncomfortable in what they were wanting to do. I mean, and you look at it. I mean, the first drive, I mean, it basically was as tough of a start for us as we could have faced. But our guys that they came off, made a few adjustments, understood the importance of some of those little things that we had talked about, and then they went out and fully executed and really took control of the game. And so, front to back, I mean, it was a complete effort. And like I said, it's a lot of areas for growth and improvement, but a lot of things to be proud of.
Yeah, 56 yards rushing for Bama in that first drive, which meant just 31 the rest of the game for Alabama after that first drive overall. And in his last 25 games, Tony White's defenses have held opponents under 20 points 16 times. That's what Coach White is bringing and what he's doing here at Florida State right now. Earl Little Jr., it felt like every time you and I talked football the last 7-8 months about your defense, Earl's name gets brought up, and he brought that next level. I think you had seen in him, and I'm sure it was fun to watch it translate over into a successful individual performance.
No, absolutely. And as a guy that you saw the flashes as last season was coming to a fold, you started seeing that growth and just the confidence that was building in him. And when Coach White came in, I mean, that was really the guy that I said, all right, I don't know if you can find a better fit for the different ways that we can utilize this individual and you really showcase his skills and talents. And Earl was a man on a mission yesterday, and he played from front to the back of the game. He really had let his presence be felt, and definitely was a wonderful spark for our team. He was the guy that carried the hammer into the stadium because of just the work that he's done and all the things that he's been able to accomplish in our preparation. And he was really, really pleased with the way that he stepped up in that game.
Career high 9 tackles and led the Noles on Saturday in that win. Earl Little Jr. As Seminole football brought to you in part by Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, a proud partner of Florida State Athletics, and by Wolfson Children's Hospital, one of our great new partners this season. Odds are beaten here. Wolfson Children's, always here, official children's hospital of Florida State Athletics. More to come on the program as we recap a great win. We're also looking ahead, of course, to the week ahead. East Texas A&M is coming to town Saturday at noon Eastern. Muller with the head coach Mike Norvell, live from Bowdenton College Town. We're back after this timeout. We'll give a big round of applause for Brooke Addison and Reagan. Brooke Addison and Reagan here with us tonight from the Florida State Cheer Squad. We appreciate those ladies here this evening, kind enough to join us, get the crowd fired up, and continuing here this evening on the program. Welcome back to Inside Seminole Football with the head coach Mike Norvell. You look ahead to the week, and it started last night, I know, on a Sunday evening with practice, day off today. Got to take me through what's a Sunday? We've talked about your Sundays before, but coming off a victory like that, your messaging to your guys Sunday about taking the steps forward and improving and getting better.
Yeah, I mean, you come back and you have a big win like that, and I mean that was a big win, and I don't want to discount that. And anyway, it was our first step. It was a big step, and it was something that this football program needed, and we needed to show really ourselves, the country, and everybody what I've told you that I knew. I mean, this is a team that was going to be extremely competitive. It was one that was going to fight for every bit of what they could be, and I thought they did an extraordinary job. So you affirm the good, you challenge the areas where we have to improve, which there were a lot of areas and things that we get to clean up so that we can go play our best football. But last week, going through the course of the week and really the last few, it's not been about the opponent.
Yeah.
And you can get so caught up in the logo and the rankings and all the things that everybody else wants to say. All I cared about was us. If we showed up and played the way I knew we were capable, I was very confident that would be the result, and it was. And now as we go into this week, it's not about the next opponent. It's still about us. It's about our growth, our improvement from week 1 to week 2. And, I mean, is that edge, is that desperation going to show up for us to go win the day? Are we going to win with how we prepare? Are we going to win with what we pour into? And are we going to see that next step of achievement because of those sacrifices? And so I thought our guys did a really good job, and the great thing is I wasn't having to lead the message. I mean, we focus it, we talk about it, but then you hear the players that are pushing it, and they're the ones that know what's in front of us, and we got to go take that next step here this week.
Time now for our Scott and Wallace keys to success here this week. Taking that next step, as Coach has talked about. Scott and Wallace, the official injury lawyers of Florida State Athletics. Scott and Wallace with offices in Tallahassee, starting tomorrow morning with that Tuesday practice. What are you challenging? What do you want to see out there on the practice field now moving forward into week 2?
Well, I mean, I want to see us attack. I want to see an aggressive mentality, in how we prepare, to be able to see if we can take the elements and those areas of improvements that we need to see: technique, fundamentals, communication, all those things. Are they going to carry over into practice? And that's where you get to feel the investment in it, but that's where you also get to see the application of the areas on offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, you get to see those steps throughout the course of the week, and we know that there was some opportunities that were left on the field. We had some missed tackles. We had obviously a turnover that we got to clean up. There were some miscues there, in a couple phases that ultimately are going to be major factors for us. And then you continue to build upon the things that we did successful. And I'm excited about the mentality I've seen from this team. But tomorrow is going to be a big step for us to continue to showcase the identity.
Seminole football is brought to you in part by 4 Points Sheridan downtown Tallahassee. Experience comfort and convenience in the heart of the city at 4 Points by Sheridan Tallahassee downtown. With stunning floor-to-ceiling windows, our rooms offer some of the best views in Tallahassee. Sleep comfortably and cheer proudly. 4 Points by Sheridan. Coming up here on Inside Seminole Football, coming up next, it is our Bowden's great moment in Florida State football history. One of recent note within the last 3 years. We'll talk with Coach about that and more on the other side. We are back after this timeout. And we are back live here at Bowden's in College Town. Great crowd on hand tonight as we talk all things Florida State football with the head coach, Mike Norvell. We appreciate his time very much following a big-time win to begin 2025, a 31-17 beatdown of Alabama Saturday inside of Doak Campbell Stadium. Time now for our great moment in Florida State football history. I've got a feeling in a few years we're going to bring this one back up in this segment with Coach. But we take you back nearly 3 years ago to the day to New Orleans, Louisiana, the block on the Bayou as Florida State took on LSU. Jordan Travis hooking up with Pokey Wilson a couple of times for scores in this contest. Took a big hit right here and still delivered a ball on the money. A one-handed grab by Wilson to give Florida State a 17-3 lead. And how about Shyheim Brown with the block of the extra point, and the celebration was on. Noles fans were on Bourbon Street all night long. How about Jared Verse with some dance moves right there, Coach, on the screen as we're watching it right now. Nearly 3 years ago to the day. What a special moment.
That was a pretty good one, too.
That was not bad. that one wasn't too bad, Coach. That is for sure. Our great moment in Florida State football history brought to you by Bowden's in College Town, a host location of Inside Seminole Football every Monday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Well, before I let you go, you mentioned it earlier, what Doak, the energy that our fans brought, and we look out, we have so many of our fans, our friends here today, packing Bowden's with you. Just reiterate to people what their presence means, what that can do for your team inside of Doak Campbell Stadium. And by the way, there are still some tickets available for Saturday with the contest with East Texas A&M coming to town.
No, I mean it was incredible, and it was great to be able to run out of the tunnel to a sold-out Doak Campbell Stadium. I mean the energy, the passion, being able to see just the joy for the kickoff of the 2025 season. And as I said a week ago, this team is we're hungry to represent you the right way, the Florida State way, and to uphold that standard of what it not only looks like, but what it feels like to play Florida State football. And I thought the guys, they answered the call, and our fan base, absolutely answered the call. And I do want to give a shout out. They kicked off the show last week, but the Marching Chiefs,
yes,
man, incredible!
Yeah.
What an incredible performance, and the energy and the impact that they had throughout the course of the game. There's nothing like a game day in Doak Campbell Stadium, and we definitely showed the country with this fan base and what this program's about.
The Chiefs were great during the game. Then they had their own concert after the game, entertaining everybody, the thousands on the field on Saturday night.
You talked about the dance party. It kind of felt like a mosh pit down there on the field. I mean, it was, I know after the game, I was doing the post-game interview, and all of a sudden I look up, and it was upon us.
It was.
But, that was, you see the joy, you see the, the energy, the passion of our incredible fans, and, the student section. Wow. I mean, just, that was really remarkable. And, as we come into this Saturday ahead, that the great thing about the game of football is there's only so few opportunities to be able to go out there and showcase who you are. And, we have 7 home games. Well, the first one's down. All right, so this week we need to feel the Seminole family come at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Come support these players. Come continue to elevate and push the passion and the unconquered spirit of FSU. And we're going to do everything in our power to prepare this week to go take that next step and to be better than what we've been.
Yep. Coach, thanks so much for your time as always, and have a great weekend ready.
Well, thank you guys and for coming out, and go Noles.
That's the head coach, Mike Norvell, everyone, as Inside Seminole Football is brought to you in part by Truist. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Coming up next, he's your quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy Castellanos is joining us on Inside Seminole Football. That and more. We're back after this timeout. And we are back live from Bowden's in College Town, Inside Seminole Football rolling along. Big thanks to the head coach, Mike Norvell, for joining us for the first half hour of the program. Hey, time now for our Garnet and Gold Gear of the Week. And this week's featured item, as you can see over to my left, is a Nike men's lightweight short sleeve Coach's jacket in black. It's the same one Coach Norvell wore this past Saturday in the victory against Alabama. Garnet and Gold has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Visit one of the 3 locations here in Tallahassee and pick up your new game day gear. I don't think our next guest needs much introduction whatsoever, but please give a big, warm welcome to Tommy Castellanos, everybody. It's great to have you here. TC1, as my broadcast partner William Barnum Floyd calls you. How much fun was that on Saturday?
It was so much fun. It's probably the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Amazing experience, I would have to imagine, overall. And you and your teammates, man, you guys just came out and you answered the call. You really answered the bell for a full 60 minutes on Saturday, playing full complimentary football. Just talk to us about the sideline, the communication, and how you and your teammates came together to play at that level for a full 60 minutes on Saturday night, Tom.
I mean, well, starting off in the off season, we just, those guys didn't like that taste they had in off last year, so everybody was desperate, and they let me know that right away when I first came in, and we just wanted to get to work, and we just worked all summer long, and we just wanted it to pay off. It was one thing I told those guys during fall camp. I was like, man, we way down here in Jacksonville. It was like, we better be doing this for something. But no, we just went out there together and we just wanted it more. I told the guys, no matter what happened today, just wanted more.
Yeah.
And we was desperate. We went out there and we fought together and we came together, and that was the best thing about it.
You have, as I watch you go about your business and watch you practice and how you lead, how you interact, you've really embraced this opportunity. What does it mean to you to be the quarterback of the Florida State Seminoles?
It's definitely a dream come true, man. Every day I go to practice. It's crazy, man. Sometimes I wake up and I still don't believe it that I'm here, especially after beating Alabama. I definitely didn't believe it. I woke up the next morning and I was just looking at my phone and I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, man, I just every day we go to practice, and if I'm having a bad day or I'm just my energy is not as high, my intensity is not where it's supposed to be. Quarterbacks coach Tucker always tell me, he's like, listen, ask your 8-year-old self if you think you will be here today, and then that just triggered a point in my head. Was okay, and then I just get my energy back and I get my intensity going. But it's definitely a dream come true. I know I'm living out a lot of people's dreams. I'm living out my dream. Just thank you for the opportunity and blessed to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you what, as everybody would say, we're fired up to have you here as well. There's no question about that. Tremendous performance by you on Saturday. 9 of 14, 152 yards passing. You ran for 78 and a score. It's your 7th game since 2023 rushing for 75 yards or more with a rushing touchdown. That's second most by a quarterback in the ACC, by the way, with those numbers right there. Your offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn. Talk about that relationship. You started with Gus at UCF, and now you're back here at Florida State. This is a guy that is an offensive wizard. How does he connect with you and bring the best out in you with the way you play the game?
Coach Gus Malzahn, he's awesome, man. He's a legend. And I'm grateful every day to be able to just walk in that building and get coached by a legend. He's actually a legend. He's coached against Alabama plenty of times, won plenty of games. He won a national championship. Just his story alone is great. But yeah, he recruited me out of high school, and we had built that connection, and we became close, and I committed to him, and then I left, and then when he called me, it was no other answer or no other call a school could have gave me that would have changed my mind from coming to Florida State. So just him being able to be offensive coordinator and not have to deal with recruiting and all the head coaching responsibilities, he's able to pour into me and bring out the best in me every single day, and that's what I love most about him.
Yeah, and you can see that with the way you guys, just the operation of the offense on Saturday. You could tell that connectivity was there between you and Coach Malzahn from years past overall, right? You mentioned your cell phone waking up on Sunday. How many text messages at its most did you have on your cell phone Sunday morning when you woke up? Do you know the number?
No, I don't know the number, but I can tell you this. I try to check my phone or try to text somebody back, and my phone just go to glitching. It wouldn't work for like an hour or two just because of all the backed up texts and stuff that was coming through. But Yeah, I couldn't, use it. I had to power it off and then
Yeah.
turn it back on. That's how crazy it was going.
Was there somebody that has reached out to you that you appreciate that maybe you haven't talked to in a while that means a lot to you that connected with you over the weekend?
I would say a lot of Florida State legends, definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Past guys, alums that play here and that played in the league and did big things. They reached out, and a couple other league guys. And then just on Twitter and stuff like that, like LeBron James and like crazy people like that,
Yeah.
like, retweeting stuff like that. But most importantly, what it was, just the alumni and the guys that play here and all the legends, that play here previous before me that reached out and was like, listen, we appreciate everything you're doing, appreciate your leadership, the confidence that you bring. This is what we're used to. Thank you for doing it.
The picture you're talking about, I don't know if many of you have seen it from Saturday. After Tommy scored his first touchdown, Peter Warwick and Dalvin Cook are right behind him, as excited as anybody in the stadium. Did you know they were right there? And what a moment for you to have two of the elite players in college football history, mobbing you after your first touchdown in the Garnet and Gold.
Yeah, that was crazy. The whole time, Dalvin Cook and Peter Warwick, they was walking back and forth on the sideline, and like I see them, but like I'm not really trying to engage because I'm trying to lock in. But after that touchdown, when I like turned around, I'm like, who's smacking me on my head? And it was those guys. It meant everything. I was so excited.
Well, now as you move forward, obviously you celebrate this one, but it's game one.
Yes, sir.
And you're looking to move forward and continue to get better overall. What's your focus this week, Tommy, as you look to continue to push forward and continue on after a great start to the season?
Yeah, first off, just seeing how I can get better and how I can play better. They gave me 14 opportunities to throw the ball, and I only completed 9 of them. So with the rest of those, opportunities, I'll see how I can get better. And I didn't play a perfect game, and going back and watch film and then seeing whatever I can work on to get better at, to improve and put more points. Like I heard Coach say it earlier, like, yeah, we won, but he was mad because we could have beat them by more than what we did. And after watching film, I seen that, and I was like, okay, this is what we can get better at, and and we can move from there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, great job. I hope you enjoyed every second of it because you deserved it. You and your teammates deserve to celebrate and experience that opportunity with the work that you put in.
Yes, sir.
And we can't wait to see what you do for an encore coming up, moving down the road.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. Thank you.
That's Tommy Castellanos, everybody. Florida State quarterback live on Inside Seminole Football. Our conversations with our student athletes brought to you by Seminole Boosters. Did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported, is not funded by tax dollars? Because of this, we rely on fans just like you to join Seminole Boosters. Your teams have the best possible chance to achieve success on and off the field. Seminole Booster membership starts at $5 per month and comes with great membership benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more or join. That's SeminoleBoosters.com. Coming up, Chris Thompson will stop by, Florida State tight ends coach and deputy head coach. That's on the other side. We're back after this timeout.
Inside Seminole Football. Here is Jeff Culhane.
And we welcome you back to Bowditch in College Town as we continue along here on Inside Seminole Football. Big thank you. How much fun was it to hear from Tommy Castellanos? Everybody did an amazing job. Florida State quarterback, and looking forward to more great moments out of Tommy here to come and down the road. As our program brought to you in part by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, they are here to remind you that if alcohol is in the mix, driving isn't. Plan ahead, designate a driver, grab a ride share, or stay put. Winning starts with smart choices. Drive sober, arrive alive. Go Noles. And also brought to you in part by, as I've got it right up here, the End Zone Blend from Grassroots Coffee. Every time you buy Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend, a portion of each sale goes directly to FSU's football program. Order the coffee that supports our Noles by scanning the QR code. That's right, on the bag here. It's on the bag, so scan the QR code or at grassrootscoffee.com. Grassroots Coffee, made for everyone, loved everywhere. You a coffee guy, Coach Thompson?
Absolutely.
Yeah? All right. Well, here you go, big guy. Let's take that to the Thompson house.
I will take that.
Nutty with and chocolate notes with a nice finish.
Sounds
Well,
great.
it was a nice finish on Saturday night for your Florida State football team. I mean, just take us through from your vantage point how your guys and this team as a whole went out, competed, played complimentary football, it felt like, in all 3 phases of the game, Coach.
Yeah, they really did. The guys just prepared hard all through camp for that moment, and it showed up, like I said, in all 3 phases. And There was adversity in all three phases at
Yeah.
some point in the game, but the guys responded really well to all of it. So it was a great night.
Yep. We talked a lot about the physicality up front. You knew that part of the game was going to be critical. It was going to be key against the front of Alabama defensively. And the offensive line and the tight ends, your group, an extension of that offensive line, and everybody did it. The wide receivers, everybody got in the mix from a blocking standpoint, went out and really felt like we were the aggressor. What was that messaging like in prep? Discussing it with your team, with your room, and they obviously responded to you guys in a big time way.
Yeah, that's always starts with Coach Norvell. That's one of the core things is just the physicality that we want to play with, and then Coach Malzahn talks about it a lot with the guys and emphasizes it, and that showed up. I thought the offensive line was tremendous in the run game, but they also provided great protection for Tommy. If you look at some of the dropbacks, he had time to go through progressions, and that's what you want to see. And then, defensively, they got after it up front as well.
Yeah, no question about that. I want to talk about some of your guys. Randy Pittman, what a great addition. This is a veteran guy who's played in Coach Malzahn's offense at UCF, Panama City native, and he went out and had his moments of physicality. We've seen some of the blocks that he made. He put Alabama middle linebacker Justin Jefferson on his backside. Got him up out of his shoes and put him on his rear end, Coach. How has Randy Pittman connected himself to this program in a short amount of time with what he's been able to do?
Yeah, if you go back to January when we started the offseason program, he asserted himself right away. He's a aggressive player, works really, really hard, plays with great physicality and just great presence. And knowing Coach Malzahn's system helps him play really fast, coming from UCF. So
kind of a coach on the field for your guys,
he has been. He's done a great job of just trying to connect, all the guys to the system, not just my guys, but really the whole group. He's done a great job.
Does he remind you at all a little bit of Jaheim Bell from 2023 with the way he's built? It feels like you can move him around and line him up at different places. Seems like a really versatile guy within the offense.
He is. He's a similar type player. Kind of a combination of a tight end, slot receiver, and a running back type player. Yeah. So he can do a lot of things for us.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to watch him continue to grow, and as the game continues to kind of blend with his skill set, with the way Coach Malzahn calls the game, I feel like he's gonna make some big plays for us in the passing game in a lot of ways with how he catches the ball and gets open.
Yeah, he definitely will. He made a big third down catch to keep a drive going that, Tommy, he was kind of the third read, and Tommy had time to go through that progression, threw a great ball. But he'll continue to make those plays as we go throughout the year.
Absolutely. Just getting started here with Chris Thompson, Florida State tight ends coach and deputy head coach. We'll talk more about this Florida State offense and the win over Alabama and steps forward to continue to move forward and have the success this staff is looking for. We'll take a timeout. We're back with our final segment of the show with Coach Thompson. We're back after this timeout. One final segment of what's been a fun night and a great show, huh? How about this evening, everybody? Beautiful night weather-wise here in the courtyard of Bowdens in College Town inside Seminole football. Big round of applause for Brooke, Addison, and Reagan once again. They just told me that all three of them, that was their first-year cheerleaders. That was their first game in Doak Campbell Stadium. Not bad for a first one, huh?
Coach Hagan says this is why you come to Florida State.
That's right.
Coaching these kind of games and cheering these kind of games.
Absolutely right. What a first game for Brooke, Addison, and Reagan. Well, take a look at a couple of your guys. Marqueston Douglas returns, Coach, his second tour with us as a Florida State tight end in your room. He was with you from 2020 to 2023 and now back here to finish things out in 2025. I know he's someone that you leaned on and played quite a bit of snaps on Saturday afternoon. What has he brought to the table for your group with his physicality and the way he plays?
Yeah, he's just such a big guy, and when you play some of the teams, the Alabamas, the Floridas, when you got to match big people, and he was in there with Micah and getting some of those combination blocks against some of those bigger body guys, so that helps you in the run game a lot. He's done a great job.
Yeah, no question about it. And two of your young guys I know Landon Thomas has been a little bit nicked up for you during fall camp, and Amari Williams is such a versatile player. I think he spent more time early with the defense, then came over and has been utilized by your room from a tight end perspective. Let's just talk about Amari and how unique of a player is he with his capability to be able to play both sides of the football at this high of a level.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that. And so the skill set, not only the skill set physically, but then learning all of it. So he's done a great job. I think as the season goes on, you'll see him emerge more and more and make more plays on both sides. Yeah. And then Landon, both guys got in on some packages Saturday and helped us win. Did a great job. So.
Yeah. Landon Thomas, a guy as well who has come along, and he's someone we saw a year ago do some really good things. And then you have a youngster by the name of Chase Lofton from Omaha, Nebraska, who has been in the tight end room. He can play, I think, a little bit of wide receiver as well. And I know that was someone you guys were really excited about, Coach, when he committed and signed to come play for you here at Florida State.
Yeah, he's got a great future. He got some action on Saturday, got in the game some, especially on special teams, and so he brings a lot. His size and ability to run, and I think he's another one that, as the season goes on, he'll emerge.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we talk about, obviously, you celebrate the win, but now you've had practice on the Sunday night practice. You're back out in the practice fields Tuesday morning, getting ready for another opponent in East Texas A&M. What are some of the items, the things that you and your room discussed on Sunday and today about, hey, here's where we could have been a little bit better. What are the things you're going to focus on early in the week this week getting ready in practice?
Yeah, it's just really from game 1 to game 2. Typically, you make a huge jump just because you have actual game film now. And so, that's what we talked about with Coach Malzahn and the group, was just making that big jump, making sure that we improve, take care of our business, and go out and play the best we can on Saturday.
Yeah, we heard from our quarterback, Tommy Castellanos, prior to you coming on the show with us. What have you appreciated the most about Tommy as the quarterback of this offense and this football team?
Just his toughness. He's a tough guy. He and I were the first ones down in pregame meal. We were both down there like an hour early. He was like super excited, and I was sitting there super excited. And we were just looking at each other. He's like, "This is a dream come true," and I said, "Me too." Like, this is just coaching at Florida State, playing at Florida State. So I appreciate his passion for Florida State. I mean, there's only one Florida State university, and I think what I appreciate the most about Tommy is he embraces that, and he appreciates the opportunity being from South Georgia and growing up watching Florida State. He really appreciates the opportunity, like I do, to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. How can his leadership style, a guy like that, what does that do to the rest of the team with the juice that he has? And how he's embraced everything as a leader of this squad?
It just transcends. It just spills over into everybody. His toughness and his enthusiasm for the game and for his teammates, and that's what he's done since he's been here in January, and I think he's still growing in that. I think you've yet to see the best of all of that. I think he'll continue to get better as the season goes.
Yep, Coach, it's always a joy chatting with you. We appreciate your time. Congrats on a great win on Saturday. We'll look forward to doing it again soon.
All right. Appreciate
There
your
you
time.
go.
Thank you.
That's Chris Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, Florida State tight ends coach, deputy head coach. As our program brought to you in part by Carver's Discount Cleaners. They're mean on stains and green on earth. Try new Eco Green dry cleaning at Carver's Discount Cleaners, 1215 North Monroe Street in Midtown. That's going to do it for us. Can't thank everybody enough for being a part of the program here tonight. Let's go have some fun this Saturday. Have a great night, everybody, and go Noles!